like there's so many things that are advancing right now in different fields that are about to like come together. Like in biology and medicine, like genetic engineering. And then in technology, we got AI. And both things they don't seem interconnected at first, but they really are. Because artificial intelligence is really going to speed up like our research process.
Definitely.
And if that happens, like just imagine the progress in the field of like genetic engineering. And if we get to the point where we could just do whatever with genetic engineering, like humans could be like so much smarter, we could be living so much longer.
How you been, Ryan?
I've been good. Back again.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
How's that been?
We were just talking. He's saying he was doing like MMA and stuff, so we just started talking. I was asking him like what he started off with. He said he did wrestling and from there, and you walked in.
Yeah, we're all kind of in the same boat. And you've been doing a lot more wrestling with Jiu-Jitsu as well every now and then, right? What's that been like?
Oh yeah, so I mean I've been pretty consistent wrestling club last semester and this semester. I think I've gotten like a lot better just going against so many different people. And this semester just started jiu-jitsu. It's been fun, yeah.
It's sad we didn't get to go back to Petty this winter. And I was so busy, and I don't think we even met in that period of time. But we'll definitely pay a visit next time.
Sucks that the season's over though. So.
Yeah. It was such a busy time. Like I came back for like 2 or 3 days in Jersey, and it was such touch and go. And then we kind of missed the whole season, but it was one of the best seasons we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
And just popping in the Petty Wrestling Instagram has been just fun.
I heard from my brother that they had some like new like recruits and stuff.
Yeah, like AJ Strober, I think was one of them. A lot of those guys. Yeah. Did your brother end up wrestling? Did you try to convince him?
Nope.
He's a tennis guy, right?
Yeah. He's doing well though, I think so.
The guys' season is starting up right now, right? Or were they in the fall?
I feel like they're in the spring. I don't know.
They're in the spring.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me know how the season goes, man.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the Trump-Zelensky meeting?
The meeting thing?
On Friday?
I mean, I didn't watch it all the way through. I just know they got mad at each other.
Taylor, you want to pull up the clip for that? Because it was pretty insane. Like, I've not seen something like this ever happen. Just live on television. It's fucking wild. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know you're into politics and stuff, so I brought it up. But I know you've been kind of following what's been going down this last month.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I haven't really been following politics that much this year. I'm too busy, but
yeah, so busy with
crazy shit
school stuff. Yeah, I used to be into it though, right? Back like before, or did you never really get into following? Yeah, right here. Oh, Taylor, one more thing. Like, when you share your screen, like, make sure you share with audio. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you were saying.
Oh, I was saying. I don't think I was really into politics ever. I feel like we talked a little bit about it, so it seems like it, but I've never been that big on it.
Interesting. Yeah, can you not unmute the side? Yeah. They got in a big argument about...
And Trump started flaming him.
Yeah. Zelensky wants Trump to...
Thank you. Except you got to be more thankful. Because let me tell you, you don't have to...
Yeah. So
the dude on the side too,
JD
Vance, kept on butting in, dude. He was.
And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States, but you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful, and that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing.
Do you disagree that you've had problems?
Yeah. Anyways, like the TLDR of it's like Zelensky's trying to tell them that Putin is this liar who's not going to want to do a ceasefire. He doesn't want peace. And he's telling them the only option you have is to give us more weapons and just to keep supporting us and to fight against Putin and Russia and destroy him. And, for the most part, I do agree with Trump and Vance because it's not really America's war. And I feel like going into more conflict will not lead to any more good. Like, people are dying, and I think the only really route now is peace. But I think it's a nuanced situation because Putin has broken ceasefires in the past. So... I think Zelensky's really trying to push for more support so they can win this war. But I think Trump and Vance were just like, okay, we want to end the war. We want a ceasefire. But Zelensky just doesn't want it. And I think Zelensky's in a really weird position right now because if the U.S. stop giving them support, like they will definitely lose that war. And I feel like Zelensky doesn't really have much of an option but to push for peace, even just for a short period of time. But it's a weird one because like I understand the other side of it too because I
mean like all those people are dying and stuff. You know, you're not gonna want to. Honestly, I understand if he doesn't want to end the war. Like he wants some like revenge. You know.
Yeah, and to understand from his perspective, like he's gone through so much emotion. Like he was elected in 2019, and imagine like you're the fucking prime minister of a country, and you've just been leading them and uniting them in war and conflict, and you've been dying in parts. There's been parts of hope too when they won significant portions of land and stuff. So I feel like to just give up the war now, after you've already put so much into it, is just it's probably the hardest thing for a leader. You know, and I can understand why he doesn't want to do it. But
yeah.
It's such a weird one, man.
Yeah.
But anyways, what's new in life? We've not talked since last summer.
Yeah, not on the podcast.
Not on the podcast, at least. When the real talk happens. But, man, Jiu-Jitsu, school.
Jiu-Jitsu, school,
Same rotation.
Same stuff. Still lifting. Yeah.
And any new PRs, or that's been kind of slowing down with wrestling? More focus?
I think my bench is stuck just right under 315. I've been doing more like hypertrophy work, more like less 1 rep maxes, more around like the 5 rep range maybe. So I think I'll give it like another couple weeks or maybe a month, and then I'll go back to going for 1 reps again. I've just been trying to like break this plateau. Still run the same weight, so I'm trying to see how far I could push my lifts.
Dude, 315 at 160 is crazy.
Yeah.
Like double body weight, dude. That's actually double body weight.
It's close.
Dude, 320 is double body weight.
320 would be double body
That's
weight.
right on.
Yeah. I'm not exactly 160 though. I eat a big meal. I'm like,
okay, that's fair enough. Yeah. I mean, you'd probably be lighter because you check during the day. So, in reality, in the morning, you're probably like 150.
In the morning? Are you lightest in the morning?
Everyone's lightest in the morning, yeah. I check in the morning.
I feel like you'd be lightest after you take a piss in the morning or something.
Yeah, that's probably the best. I don't take a piss in the morning. I just like check right away.
But like, that's like the lightest you'd be like naturally, you know. After wrestling like really hard, cause like on Fridays, Mondays, we have like 2 hours jiu-jitsu back to back with 2 hours wrestling. So after
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You do both?
Yeah, I do both.
How do you do that, man?
It's fun, man. It's like the only time of the day I could like just chill a little bit.
I mean, yeah, when I used to wrestle, like it was the most like relaxing, peaceful part of the day.
Yeah, and jiu-jitsu isn't that, you know, like strenuous.
Intensive. Yeah.
When it's live, yeah, but like when you're just drilling, it's not like wrestling.
Is it mostly drilling and stuff for jiu-jitsu?
They do like a few drills at the start, or like some technique stuff, and then they just have open mat. You can roll with anybody. Yeah, I think I get my ass kicked a lot because I'm pretty new. But
are you competing in wrestling? Or just going to practice?
No, it's been a little bit too busy for that, and I don't think I'm up to par yet for that level at the club, but maybe next year if I'm still at Rutgers, or we'll see what the program is like if I'm able to transfer.
Yeah, I mean, does Cornell have wrestling?
Yeah.
The club?
Yeah.
Because they're big.
Or I haven't looked into their club, but they have a good wrestling.
I know their
program,
D1 program is great, but I don't know what the club is like. I mean, I feel like most D1 schools will have clubs like that, right? And Cornell's a decently big school.
Yeah. Rutgers is a good wrestling program too. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, big 10 schools, man.
Yeah.
And we just beat you guys in basketball though. I think last week. You saw the game? Buzzer beater shot. We won by a buzzer beater shot.
That's insane.
Everyone was going to that game. It was right before spring break, so everyone was going home at that time. But yeah, I mean, does your team like compete a lot? Like, do they travel around to schools around the Northeast and stuff? Because I know like at least the Michigan team.
I haven't really been. Are you talking about like the Rutgers team, or even the club team?
Yeah.
They have like one every like few weeks, I think. They just had one. They went to some tournament this Friday. Yeah. Yeah,
it's interesting. Cause I know that the Michigan one, like, there's some clubs that are just not like super serious about it. You know. At our club, like, I think most wrestling clubs welcome beginners and everything, and any level can really come. And then there's the guys that go and compete. And I know that I had a friend that was on the club team, but he's not on the club team anymore. But you know, they would travel around, they have meets and everything, which is it's pretty intensive, but it's also like you can do as much as you want, which it looks like your club is kind of the same.
Yeah, I mean, they let anybody in. They're like super beginner friendly. It's just like at this point, if you haven't really wrestled at all in high school, it's kind of hard to get into it, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely hard to pick up.
Yeah, it's beginner friendly. Same with the jiu-jitsu. There's a lot of beginners in jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
I know you felt like a beginner coming to Petty like senior year wrestling. So, I mean, you've been doing it all year now. Like, how would you describe the difference in the progress you've made?
Oh my god, like I had no idea what I was doing in high school. That's all. Like it's actually crazy. I'm surprised like I was able to do anything, you know? Like I didn't know anything. That's what I'm realizing. Yeah, and there's a lot of really, really good wrestlers out there. But it's good coming in with a little bit of experience at least into college, because like wrestling into jiu-jitsu is a pretty good like transition. Like I have a little bit more of like understanding of where I want to be and stuff like that. Yeah.
Which one do you enjoy more?
I'm gonna be honest, I think I like jiu-jitsu more.
Really?
Just I've only done it this semester, but it's the submission and stuff is pretty fun.
It's so technical, man. Like just watching those people is insane. Like we used
Yeah,
to watch
it's
Julian,
so
bro.
technical.
It's insane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something like if I were to go back into like fighting sports, there's something about wrestling that I enjoy a lot, which is like I don't know how to describe it, but I think I enjoy the physical endurance of it a lot. You know, that's probably my favorite part of the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the one thing about jiu-jitsu. At least like on my level, if somebody's just so much more technically above me, there's like no chance. Like I have no idea what he's doing. He's just gonna put me in some kind of thing. But wrestling, like, it could be somebody a lot better, but at least I can like stay alive a bit longer. You know,
Definitely.
hold out. Yeah.
Yeah, and wrestling, it kind of falls back on just a few fundamental moves. Right?
Yeah,
so it's
exactly.
really about. There's so many factors that can go into someone who performs well in wrestling. You know, obviously someone with really good technique will do well.
Yeah.
People who are also strong will do well. People who have stamina will do well. You know, there's so many different layers to how you can develop as a wrestler. I feel like in the jiu-jitsu, it's more focused on like who's technically an expert, and I feel like there's levels to it, because I feel like in jiu-jitsu you can master like this set of skills and you can feel like you're really good, but then you'll meet someone who knows like triple that, and it's just like there's more and more and more layers to it, which is I think that's
There's a lot of layers to it. Wait, have you tried jiu-jitsu?
I've not. I've just like watched a little bit of it.
Yeah.
And heard from guys like Teo what it's like.
It's really fun though. You should try it sometime if they have something like that at Michigan.
They do, and I was gonna go to a practice right before winter break, but then I think I got canceled, and then I never ended up going back. And then I started powerlifting. But yeah, there's like a million things I'd be down to try. You know, I think right now I'm going through that powerlifting phase just because I want to try to get stronger. I want to compete in that. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun.
Where are you trying to compete? Like
when?
Where?
So I don't know the levels of the competition. It also depends on like how strong people are at different levels. So I think when I get to my goals for the summer, like 275 bench, which is a little bit under double body weight, like 315 squat, which is like 2.5. I think 2.5 body weight. I think
you said you were 130 something. You were 130.
I'm like 138.8. Yeah, so 315. It'd be like a little bit under 2.5.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, if I could hit them, I'm not hitting them yet, but if I could hit those, then maybe I could start looking at like local competitions and then just like keep getting stronger every year, because you're still a freshman right now, but sophomore, junior, senior year, to keep getting stronger every year, and then hopefully compete at like larger levels, like past county and state level. I mean, it really depends on how much numbers I can put on. You know, I just started running this program, so it's really determines about like how well the program runs. You know, how well I'm able to do, but I guess we'll see with time. But
yeah. That's good that you have a program going.
Yeah.
For me, it's more like I'm consistent with lifting, but it's not scheduled, you know? It's more whatever's not sore, because sometimes after practice I can't do legs, like the day after. The day before maybe I can't either, so I got to really plan my leg days, and then everything else goes around that.
I feel like they're both fun in their own way, because that's how I lifted for all the fall term and like the beginning of winter term too.
What do you mean, like?
I kind of just do whatever I felt like, you know?
Yeah.
No program. I was doing more bodybuilding when I came into the year, just trying to get big. And then slowly as the year went on, it transitioned into power building, where like I'd go for bench PR, but then I'd also do like my tricep workout after. Like it's kind of just whatever I felt like doing, you know, whatever wasn't sore. And that was really fun. You know, I really enjoyed that. And I think at some point I really just wanted to get strong and compete just because I missed it. So then one Sunday I woke up and I'm like, let's just start this today. And then now I'm kind of on the program, but like now that I'm in the program, doing whatever I feel like sounds fun. So I'm excited for like the next stage. Maybe that's the summer or next year. But you know, they gotta both have their beauties too. You know.
Dude, your numbers are like they're kind of crazy now. Like,
yours are just as crazy.
No, but like before, I think you had like at Petty at least, you were like one of the top like for your body weight lifters, right? You're at the point now where it's like it's just impressive. Period. Like,
well, actually, I'd argue that my numbers at Petty weren't that impressive. You know, I feel like guys like Ray and David, all those guys were a lot like, stronger for their body weight too. But I'm definitely like better than I guess the average person, but I'd say like most of my progress was in fall term.
No, you have to give yourself some more credit too, because I feel like at Petty there's a lot of like good lifters, honestly.
Yeah.
At my gym, there's at my Rutgers gym now that I usually go to, like there's some who are like really there's like some really strong people, but none of them are like really freshmen or anything, you know. There's less, definitely.
Yeah, that's definitely true going into college. Like you got to see like this whole different world, you know. We've been going this very small world for all our life, you know.
Yeah.
Montgomery High School and Petty and
Yeah.
and you go out and you see like you go to Rutgers and it's a fucking huge school.
Yeah, it's insane. There's a lot of
people.
a lot of crazy shit there.
Yeah, crazy shit for sure. You want to tell everybody on the podcast of the crazy shit you see?
Wait, like how is there like a PG rating for this podcast?
No, there's no ratings on this podcast. Open mics.
I feel like I told you about this before, I think off podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first of all, like we always get emails whenever there's like some kind of crime alert, right? So I'll give you top 3. So and not in any particular order, but the first one is this guy like whips his dick out on one of the buses. He starts pressing on people. We get
pressing it on people?
Yes, he's pressing on
like
people.
girls and shit?
Yeah. It's fucking crazy shit.
What the fuck?
We get an email about it.
Dude, imagine just being on a bus and you're like listening to some music on your headphones. You look up and someone's trying to like stick their dick into somebody, bro. What the fuck?
Dude, and the funniest thing is our like the head police officer at Rutgers is named Kenneth Kopp, dude.
Kenneth Kopp? Like his last name is Kopp?
The last name is Kopp, bro. He's actually a fucking NPC.
That's hilarious. It's
Okay.
like a head police guy.
Yeah, or something like that. But he's on every email. Okay, number 2, there was like this like butt naked dude just running around campus. There's a video of him like with his pants down. He's just hopping at this guy, and then he falls on the floor.
Hopping like a little bunny?
Yeah, like that. And then he like face plants on the floor, and he just lays there. I don't know. I think he might be on drugs or something.
Might be. Was it a late night? Thursday night?
No, it was like the middle of the day. People going to class, dude.
Oh my god. Right,
Yeah, and then last one is like my dorm got robbed. Like not my room, but like my dorm building.
Oh,
There
okay.
was these people coming through, and they were like knocking on doors. They're like, "Yo, can we get like a I don't know what it was." Trying to ask for something, then they just go in the room and just take their shit. Yeah.
Wait. So they can you give me an example? Like they'd ask for what?
I think it was like a Band-Aid or something. They're like, "Oh no, like my friend needs a Band-Aid," and they're knocking on doors, and then people just let them in, and then
When they're not looking, they just grab something.
yeah,
from
they
your
just
pocket.
fucking take something. Yeah, so like downstairs in my dorm got robbed.
Wow.
Yeah,
What they rob? Like a lot of money or something?
I don't know, but they took something.
Yeah, that shit freaks me out because I'll leave stuff like on my, like sometimes I'll leave it like how we did at Petty where we just leave the doors unlocked because like my dorms are pretty safe.
Anymore. Yeah,
But you know I've started like just in case I've started closing my door now. But you know, anything can happen, man. I mean, especially in
there
Jersey.
was robberies at Petty though. Remember when Ray got his wallet robbed?
I don't know if I heard the story. No.
No, it was at wrestling, dude.
I
It's
don't
crazy.
remember.
Like hundreds in there. Or
Do you
something.
remember that one guy who pulled up in the locker room? The random story that
Oh,
was
right.
I think were we wrestling? You weren't wrestling at the time, but I think it was in wrestling season. Because yeah, it was wrestling season. I come out of wrestling practice one day, I'm like sweating all over the place, and there's a basketball game going on the same day.
Yeah.
And as I'm walking back to my dorm, I see a bunch of cops outside of the athletic center. And then everyone starts asking like, "What's happening? What's happening?"
Yeah.
And then we hear this story that some random guy decided to just like pull up to campus, walk in the locker room, and start taking shit from the lockers, and then just
Yeah,
like
that's
dip.
crazy.
Apparently, he took Shakroop's like credit card. Remember that? Remember that?
Yeah, I think
And
so.
then he went to the liquor store in was it Heightstown,
Oh my
and
God.
he started buying alcohol with Shakroop's fucking credit card.
That's crazy, man.
Dude, and it was a crazy story. But was that the same one with like Ray's wallet or what?
No, Ray's wallet was when I was there at wrestling.
All right, tell me.
It was just like some other team came over in the locker rooms. They fucking snagged his wallet. I don't think he ever got it back.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Did he not like do something about it or what?
I don't know. Like he told Coach Frank about it, but nothing really happened. I think. Yeah, I don't know. You got to get him on the podcast for the full story.
Ray? Yeah, I already asked him once. He said no, so it's left in the past. He's where's he? UGA now?
Hmm?
He's down at UGA or something.
I don't know. I think so, maybe. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. I feel like Jersey crime rate's been increasing, man. Like in the last couple of years, like our house got robbed. I don't know if I told you
Wait,
that.
what? Are you
That
serious?
through that very door back there, man.
Really?
Yeah.
But
so-
do you have cameras here or something?
No, we didn't. We didn't have anything. We had an ADT system.
What do they take?
I feel like it's been enough time now where I could tell on the podcast, but it was December of my senior year of high school. And as a family, we were traveling out.
You never told me, dude. Somebody robbed your fucking house.
Yeah, I didn't really tell many people,
great.
but I think it's been enough time now where I don't think it'll matter if I start telling the story. But yeah, man, we were out of the country for winter break, and we were traveling in Europe, and I remember we just finished like the first part of our trip, and we were like we just drove to another place, and I was trying to sleep all night in a separate bedroom, but I hear just my dad on the phone all night in the other bedroom. And it's like, and it sounded so serious, but I had no idea what happened. But I just heard him awake all night.
Okay. And
then like I wake up probably like around 8, 9 naturally, and then, you know, I'm kind of walking around, see both my parents are still sleeping, which is weird. My sister's still sleeping, you know, and I kind of talked, and I think my mom's kind of lying awake, so I asked her what happened, and she told us that last night at 8 p.m. somebody came and robbed our house.
Holy shit! While you were in the house?
No, our house in New Jersey. This house.
Oh wait.
Well, we were traveling.
Where were you? Where were you?
We were traveling in Europe, right?
Oh
so,
shit, man.
You know, we were like freaking out, and he said that Dad and I are just gonna sleep in today because they've been up all night like dealing with this. Because it's a time zone difference, right? So for us here in New Jersey, it's 8 p.m. But for us, it was 2 a.m. when it happened. All right. So what happened was that they came here at 8 p.m. If you notice, like behind my house is a big backyard, is a hill, right? They parked right by that hill at 8 p.m. It's winter time, so it's dark outside. They come in, they break the back door, they enter, the ADT starts going off. All right. Within a minute, they went right to my mom's bedroom and took the jewelry and left.
Holy shit.
And she had jewelry she kept in her closet worth a lot of money, and they stole it and they just left. Within a minute.
That's crazy.
Because the cops came here, I think, in 3 minutes.
Did you find out who it was?
So we'll build up a story.
Holy shit.
But they've absolutely destroyed my mom's closet. They stole everything, and they
must have known that you guys were out.
That was the strange part, which is like we're speculating a lot
that's
about
really
it.
strange.
Yeah, it was weird, but yeah, man, the cops were here in 3 minutes and they were already gone.
That's crazy.
We had a whole ADT system. They broke through that, which was wild. We never found them.
That's really crazy.
We had cops like come in, so the door was broken in the back, right, and we had some really good friends of ours, some neighbors, help us out. You know, despite it being like 8, 9, 10 p.m. for them, like they went to Costco. They bought like these giant cardboard, like tiles, and they covered up our door with them. They were hammering it in themselves. It was insane. Yeah. But, you know, they're really great people who helped us out, and forever we're thankful to them. But because we were out of the country, there's not much we can do, right? So, and then for probably like months. Like 4 or 5 months, we lived without a back door, with just wooden tile covering the back door. It was insane. Yeah. Because the shipment was taking so long for the back door, and you know I was at Petty at the time, and I'd come back every break, and it's like it's still not fixed yet. It was.
That's really strange, man.
You just go by that door. It's just so cold over there because like there's like little holes and stuff. It was crazy, but they did recover some of it. Okay. So you know, like Route 18. There's like a little exit where if you go, it's a little bit far from Rutgers, but if you take an exit down and by the left, there's a little bit of road underneath a bridge with Route 18 above it. Okay. And somehow somebody found something lying on the ground.
What was it?
And they go by there, and there was a credit card there, there was some jewelry there, and there was a picture of my face over there. Alright? So this is all stuff taken from my mom's closet, just sitting there on the ground. Oh my god. Alright, so the story is that they were going through it afterwards, thought these items were fake items, so they threw them out, right? And they didn't need it. They're trying to get rid of stuff, right? Some of it was actually fake, but some of it was actually real jewelry they threw out. So then we ended up recovering that, and it's all locked away somewhere else and not in the house. So
that's crazy, man.
Whatever was recovered, it's not in the house anymore. It's somewhere else.
Have there been any other robberies in the area?
Yeah, there have been some, but it was crazy that we recovered that because my mom's name was on the credit card, so they were able to call us and say that we actually recovered some of it.
No, the crazy thing is that they came in exactly when you were out of your house.
They knew. They were probably watching the house. They probably drove by it a couple times and they noticed no one was home. You know, there's a lot of ways of checking. You know, like are you taking the trash out on Thursday? You know, or is the mailbox full with mail?
But like, why your house in particular? You sure it's not somebody like you kind of know or something?
We speculate a lot about it. Yeah. I don't want to talk about this on the podcast in particular, but we'll talk about it on the podcast. We respect Long story. Oh man. Wow, man. It was wild.
That's really tough.
But yeah, there have been more in the area. I mean, I was telling you about the Starbucks. You know, like that's not a robbery per se, but someone drove their car right into fucking Starbucks. Like I just got back and my sister was telling me the story. I'm like, what's happening to Jersey, man? The crime, it's increasing. We had multiple occasions where there were attempts in certain houses, but nothing was actually as bad as our situation. And you know, there were we end up ramping up the security in house significantly. We added many different things. But,
That's good.
You know, I mean, everyone's been paranoid since then.
Yeah, you have to, because if they did it once, they might want to come back again.
I doubt they'll do it on the same house, because.
Well, you got to be prepared.
Yeah, we're prepared anyways, but the likelihood of that's very low, because they probably are far away right now, nowhere to be seen. Maybe even out the country. Who knows? Wow. I mean, I'm just thinking in the perspective of someone who would do that. I would try to get as far away as possible, so they cannot be tracked. For sure. You know, plus, like, after you've already stolen the jewelry of a house, you'd assume that they'd actually change something about it and add more precautions, right? So it'd be more hard too. We added a lot of shit. Yeah. But it's crazy, man. You know, I feel like Jersey's has been getting crazy.
Yeah. Well, what do you think's causing that?
I don't know.
You think we're noticing it more because we're older? I mean, obviously the robbery thing, that's crazy, but just in general.
It's a good question, you know. I think there's a couple different things we can look at. I think there's one thing that I've noticed about America in general. I just think that two factors that would definitely drive. Let's think about why crime happens. You know, I think crime happens because people are mentally ill or in a socioeconomic position that's poor, right? But a lot of it comes from mental illness, where you know, if you're gonna move the water bottle a little bit just so it doesn't block the camera. Yeah, I feel like loneliness, anxiety, depression can drive you to do these things, you know, which is why if we look at countries like Denmark and Sweden, there's no robberies there.
They're not lonely over there.
It's like, if you look at the numbers, dude, it's insane.
For their crime rate, or you
mean?
Yeah,
crime rate.
What does that have to do with loneliness, though? Are they not lonely?
No, I mean, if you look at the stats, like, the Scandinavian countries are the happiest in the world.
Oh,
you know?
I think, Sweden's like one of the happiest. Yeah. Right?
You go to somewhere like Iceland, you know, that's the safest country you're ever going to go. Even Japan, you know.
Japan, they're not happy there, though. They be killing themselves.
Yeah, I don't know what the numbers are like, but I think the suicide rate in Japan is much different than here. I mean, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's
actually,
a lot
Taylor,
higher.
You can pull up the stats about the suicide rate in Japan versus U.S. I think that in Japan, what I did notice, though, let's first see the stats. Overall, 8. You know, also, Taylor, I forgot to tell you this, but when you're sharing your screen, I noticed when I'm editing that it's really hard to read the text. So you want to zoom in on text. That's important. Yeah, scroll to the top. Was there numbers there, or I missed it? You know, zoom in that real quick. Overall, at the top. All right, let's see. Are these like the highest in the world, suicide rates, or what? If you're saying something,
okay. I pulled it up before too.
Yeah. Wait, what did the text in the beginning say? I didn't get to read it for the. On the top.
There weren't any numbers.
Yeah. Overall, age-adjusted mortality rates from suicide in Japan were almost twice as high for males. Okay, it's not compared. Oh, to the U.S. So it's higher suicide rates in Japan. That's interesting. Search up like which country has the highest suicide rate in the world, or just like search up U.S. suicide rate and then Japan suicide rate. That might be better. That's so weird though. Like, I mean, I would imagine in these countries in Africa. I mean, America's number 4.
Where is Guyana?
That's in Africa, I believe. It could either maybe in the south. You want to search? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
South America.
Yeah, okay, that's South America. Suriname is Africa, right?
No, Suriname is next to Guyana too.
Okay, so these are South American countries.
That makes sense. It's probably like really tough over there or something.
I think if you're in a really bad socioeconomic condition, I would understand. But the fact that the United States is right there with it is kind of wild. And we're number 4. That's pretty fucking.
It's like kind of like a curve, you know. It's like first it goes up when, the rate is really high when the conditions are really bad, and then as the conditions get better, like the suicide rate falls.
That makes sense.
But then when the conditions get too good, when you're in the U.S., it'll go back up again. It's
yeah,
like that.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I would argue that I agree with that point a lot, because obviously if it's too good, then it's like this numbness you feel that can cause more depression as well. But I do think another thing is like the decline of family in U.S. is in particular.
Kind of families?
Yeah, the decline of family. Decline.
What do you mean? Oh, the decline of families.
Yeah, like if you look at the stats.
Is there a decline of families?
Yeah, if you look at I think the numbers you can look at is like the percentage of people that are going to be in a family when they're older.
Like married?
Yeah, married in a family. Or even if you look at most people are living on their own, definitely through their 20s and 30s. And even at their older levels, the divorce rate's like 50%. So even if people do get married.
50% is crazy.
Just confirm that too. I think it's 50%. The divorce rate in the U.S.
No, it can't be that high. 50%. That's ridiculous.
It's definitely. It's actually really bad today. If you get into marriage, you're like 50% likely to get married. That doesn't make any sense, bro. 40 to 50% for first marriages. Gonna zoom in on that real quick. U.S. divorce rate remains between 40 to 50% for forced marriages.
Whoa.
And it's been steadily increasing over the last few decades. It's insane, dude. I just think that it's so high because of cultural reasons.
What's a cultural reason?
Can I get into it?
Sure.
I think that the biggest cultural reason is because we've adopted individualism as a general lifestyle over clan. I think it's called Clanism. What was it called, Teo? Do you remember the podcast with Andrew? Yeah, not collectivism. It was individualism, collectivism, and clanism, I think.
Clanism?
Yeah. Clanism is like you're part of a clan, but you're still kind of individual.
What type of clan are we talking? The Clash of Clans.
Like a family. So I think before we were kind of in like a clan-like society where you have like your immediate family who you live with. You know, like your two parents, children, maybe even grandparents involved in that too. But you live with your clan, but you all live individual lives, but still with the clan. We've kind of shifted away from that into more of an individualistic culture where
like moving out after you're like an adult kind of thing.
That too, moving out after you're an adult, but also not even living with a partner, you know, like through your 20s, 30s, and even 40s. I mean, I've seen that in relatives of mine too.
I think that's because like people trying to like advance their careers and stuff. Yeah.
Definitely for women too. I mean, I think that the thing with feminism is that there have been a lot of positive movements through feminism, but I think the second it reached wave 3, I think there was an ideological shift that career matters more than family. And I think that in the pursuit of that, I think what I've seen a lot of women, including like people I know as well that are adults, that my mother knows as well, that in the beginning they'll value their family. They'll value their career more because in immediately like you're going to college, you're getting your degree, you don't want to fall behind, you know, you don't want to waste your 20s. So they'll do that. The 20s are a great time to kind of build up my career, get into a good socioeconomic position so that I can have a family later. But the second you get promoted again when you're like 22 and then 25 you get promoted again, now you get all these responsibilities and you're getting a really good paycheck. So saying yes to a family is very difficult, especially when the second you get into a family, how much money you have to pay for it, all the expenses of it, the time commitment. You just can't do everything in the world. So they'll keep saying later, and then by the time they realize, I think most women, by the time they reach upper 30s, not every single woman, but I'd say definitely 80% of women, by the time they get to their higher 30s, just because of evolution, there's like a craving they feel for having a child. At a certain point, like there's something evolutionarily inside of women that there's something about maternal life that they care about a lot.
I mean, I think it's more of like a worry that they won't be able to have children because after you're a certain age you can't have kids
that's
anymore.
The problem though. Like they want to have it, but then they try to have it and they can't do it anymore. There's like a worry there. It's a big concern, and I think because of that there's also the culturalism where we don't want to do it anymore, but then when we realize we want to do it, we can't do it anymore. You know, there's the biological limit. So
maybe that's something like modern like medical technology can fix maybe in the future. Like imagine in like 50 years or something, like we're like living for like 200 years.
You think that'll happen in 50 years?
Like who knows? Like who knows what's gonna happen in the next 5 years even?
That's true.
Like what do you think is gonna happen in the next 5 years?
I agree with you. I mean, we've been increasing rapidly. You know, like we'll see change happen overnight, but I think we're really bad at predicting what that change will be.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I think just because we say that so much advancements happen, therefore we can just come up with ideas in our head and that'll definitely happen. You know?
I feel like something big's about to happen. Like really, really, really soon.
Like what?
It's either gonna be like aliens, or like did we talk about the things flying over New Jersey last time?
I think we did. We didn't talk about it on the podcast because we filmed like in August last, so I mean.
It might be aliens, but I think it's most likely going to be like AI advancing our technology so much that, like the possibilities are going to be like limitless. You know.
What do you mean by limitless?
Like there's so many things that are advancing right now in different fields that are about to like come together. Like in biology and medicine, like genetic engineering. And then in technology, we got AI. And both things they don't seem interconnected at first, but they really are. Because artificial intelligence is really going to speed up like our research process.
Definitely.
And if that happens, like just imagine the progress in the field of like genetic engineering, and if we get to the point where we could just do whatever with genetic engineering, like humans could be like so much smarter, we could be living so much longer, like all of our capabilities would be like so much more enhanced than what they are right now. And then combine that with like stuff like Neuralink and stuff. Like people already having these things put in their brains. Like right now, there's people walking around right now with Neuralinks in their brains.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? And then imagine if like AI gets mixed in there, and then you throw all that stuff together, you're gonna get like a completely different kind of society and like different thing for humans, you know?
Yeah, and it'll definitely happen soon. I think that there's enough evidence, at least for those two components, that we're really close to our breakthroughs.
There's three. So
Genetic
there's
engineering,
genetic engineering, AI, and then like technology mixed with.
Well, technology is kind of everything, right? Well, the
Neuralink
integration,
kind of
so the
stuff.
symbiosis.
Yeah,
right?
symbiosis.
Yeah, Neuralink is kind of like them combined in a way, right? It's like we'll see like all. I mean, we've seen so much advancement in AI and genetic engineering, and the second it all comes together, really, where the human will be able to be integrated in the middle of that. I think it'll happen soon, but at the same time, I think it's so hard to predict these kind of things. You know, like if you look at history, anytime humans, if you look at the literature of any different era, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the predictions are always wrong. You know, the thing that they think is going to happen next, it's always something different, but something will happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we know for sure that in particular.
Honestly, I feel like history so far hasn't been that like that crazy as it is right now. Like whatever happens in the next 100 years or within our lifetimes is going to be really big. Like nothing like this has ever happened in history. Like
Definitely.
Like a war might happen in the past or something, but that's happened before. Like we've had wars and we've had like periods of, you know, like whatever, like stuff occurring over and over again in history. But right now we're about to have something like completely new. Yeah.
I agree, but let's think about some of the biggest advancements in human society. Like I think the internet's a great example, you know.
All that happened in the last like
Yeah, it happened recently, but no one predicted is the key thing. No one knew that that's what's happening next.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like something completely unexpected might happen. That's why I threw aliens in there.
I just think that there's gonna be something big that's gonna happen in our lifetime. In fact, soon. I just don't think we know what it is yet.
Next 20 years, something big's gonna happen.
I think logically it makes sense that the next big thing is AI plus genetic engineering.
You can like make predictions based off of what you know. Like I'm not saying these are like perfect predictions. Obviously, something crazy, something completely different is gonna happen. But you can make an educated guess.
Okay,
that's like right now in the next few years, what we're gonna see is like the number of jobs available going down. Like that's, I think, like pretty guaranteed.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see like pretty big like social change. Like more people, like a growing like lower, growing middle class. Like the divide between like the elite and people right now, like us. I feel like we both come from like pretty upper middle class families. Unless we somehow break through into that elite class of people who are running stuff, we're gonna get sucked into the middle lower class. Like there's gonna be a huge divide forming.
And it's hard to compare this to a historical event just because of the drastic scale of it. I think that's what differentiates it.
Yeah.
Because you've gone through waves of massive change and adapted, but I think this will be a big one. But at the same time, I still stand by that we can make these predictions, but it's so hard to know what's next. And I feel like, to me, it's like we can sit here and talk about it, but you know, I feel like there's so many pressing issues today that could be more of a primary focus, you know. And I think it's useful to have these discussions because, I mean, someone has to have these discussions, you know. Like, these are things that we need, because I think the worrisome thing is that, you know, AI and genetic engineering, we can keep pushing it to that's so far away before it's not so far away. And then it's like tomorrow, and then we're not prepared for it. So to a degree, they're still useful, but I think there are conflicts around the world, whether that just be like mundane. I think the biggest challenge as humans we deal with today is balancing progress with our tribal nature. Because, you know, we're doing the same shit we've always been doing, except with bigger guns. How do we control that, you know? I think that'll be a big challenge because we don't even know how we can control that but still make life meaningful and fulfilling. I think that'll be a weird one.
Our tribal nature.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, you know, like we've made all this progress, man. But we still play the same monkey games. We still care about social status and our insecurities, and that drive us to do everything at both global levels and individual levels. That is something that's remained a constant despite all the change.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
100,000 years.
That's true.
So what are we going to do about it, man?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that Yeah, like we're really seeing that play out with all like the wars going on and stuff like that. Yeah.
I guess we'll see. I guess we'll never know. But I do think that, going back to the problem that America's going through right now, the Western countries, right?
Right. You said loneliness, right?
Oh yeah, we went off topic.
Yeah.
I just think that is true. Eventually, we'll be able to make technology that will allow us to, maybe live to 200 or have kids at a much later age. Mm-hmm. So we could cross our fingers and hope that happens soon. But I just think there'll be so many other challenges with that for the relationship between a woman and her child. With, I think, first the age gap, and if we're all living forever, maybe the age gap doesn't matter. But I still think that
dude, it's gonna be crazy. Like there's gonna be like 300-year-olds getting with like 20-year-olds.
Well, let's not even take it that far just yet. That's pretty extreme.
Oh no, that won't happen in our lifetime, or it won't happen anytime soon. It'll at least take like 300 years to get there.
I think a realistic prediction is that maybe some kind of technology will allow us to have kids at 40 or 50. That's a reasonable prediction. Dude, with IVF,
they're already no, forget about IVF and stuff like that. They're they're growing like organs in pigs now.
Yeah, that's
you can grow a human baby in a pig.
Did they actually do that?
No, you could. Think about it. I bet they're already doing that in China.
Do what? Organs?
Like all that type of stuff, like genetic engineering. First of all, they already genetically engineered human babies. You remember that back in like 2018?
Who did that?
This.
Tell you, I'm trying to find that.
He Jiankyu or something
like that. Find
the
Chinese guy who made babies or whatever.
He genetically engineered these twins to be resistant to HIV in China. It's already happened.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah. And he got a lot of backlash and stuff, right? He got a lot of backlash.
He got put in prison. I think his name is
what the fuck was that? Yeah. The CRISPR bombshell?
Yeah, something like that. There, yeah.
Yeah, click on the BBC. China jails gene-edited baby scientist for 3 years. Why'd they jail him, though?
Because
is it illegal?
It's illegal.
Yeah, okay.
Or I think they made it illegal after that. They just thought it was really unethical.
Yeah, I mean, definitely something like that is going to need some thought before we just jump right in.
Yeah.
As well as the president said, he was fined 3 million wons. Was that what it was?
And crazy thing is, he's still going. He got let out. He's still going right now. Dude, I bet the Chinese government, he is like doing that stuff right now in like a lab underground right now.
Yeah.
There's probably like thousands of genetically engineered like superhumans right now.
Does that scare you or excite you?
It excites me, because here's the thing: like, you can still like you can be genetically engineered right now. It doesn't have to be your kid. Like they're doing that right now too in America. Like this is legal, but they're like using gene therapy right now for treating like already born people for diseases like sickle cell anemia and stuff like that. Like they're basically like genetically engineering them while they're like alive and like.
How does that work? How do you genetically engineer someone who's alive?
I think there's like different ways of like getting the gene editing thing, like the CRISPR, into them.
Yeah.
Like you could either do it like just an injection, or you could like take part of whatever tissue you're trying to genetically engineer out and then do it in a lab and then put it back into them.
Yeah, here we go. Zoom in on that real quick. Currently, genetic engineering living humans primarily involves, can you zoom in a little bit? Using techniques like CRISPR, Cas9. I remember learning about CRISPR in bio. I just don't remember what it does. So it's like, that's the whole idea behind genetic engineering, right? Where it kind of reverses the gene when it goes in or something like that.
So like CRISPR is like what's it called? Like it's this natural thing found in like bacteria to defend themselves from viruses. So the really like unique thing about it is like when viruses put their genetic info into the bacteria, that CRISPR thing will it'll be able to recognize specific sequences that the virus is putting in, and that is what we're using. Like we're using this recognition capability so that we can direct where we bring the CRISPR thing to, and then it'll cut it.
That's insane,
and then
bro.
we could put whatever we want in.
So that's insane.
Yeah.
So acting as a gene therapy where faulty genes are replaced or repaired so they can detect specifically, as you were saying.
Yeah.
Rather than creating entirely new traits, this is done through procedures that modify a patient's cell outside the body. So is there like an example of someone
sickle cell anemia. It's approved. Like people right now living with
multiple
sickle
people
cell.
have like gone through this trial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's out of trials now. Is it still in trials?
Like
It
what?
might
Like
still be in
if anyone
trials.
wants to get an appointment, they can just go now. Can you
I
search
mean,
for the
I think
sickle
it's
cell?
expensive. I don't know what's going on with it, but
Yeah, search up like the
there's a lot
sickle
of people
cell
with that
like
right now.
treatment through CRISPR-Cas9. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the cost? Yeah.
FDA
Zoom in on that.
approved.
A sickle cell CRISPR treatment refers to a gene. Okay. How it works. Yeah. So this is legal now.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. When did this become legal?
I mean, legal as in
Like
what?
the
I don't
past the
know.
trials and the.
I don't know if it's past the trials or not.
Okay.
They should double check that. But like it's legal as in trials are allowed to use it.
This
At
came out in
least.
2023,
Yeah.
so I mean, dude.
It's
that's
like really
insane.
recent. Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for that because I think that tackling these diseases.
Like where do you draw the line though?
Where do we draw the line? What do you think?
Like say if somebody has like idiopathic short stature,
What's that?
It's like
Is that like
when,
being short?
Yeah, when your parents are not abnormally short, but then you're just abnormally short and we don't know why. Like right now, these people can be like prescribed growth hormone and stuff like that, right? And that's already kind of sketchy. It's like,
Well, it's sketchy because like it's not good for you.
no, it's sketchy because that could give you an advantage. Because like people like Messi, Messi had that, I think, and then he got growth hormone. And then now he's one of the top athletes in the world. And I don't think he could have done that unless he got
Messi
that
got growth hormone.
Yeah, he got growth hormone when he was a kid.
Search it up.
Yeah.
I did not know that, dude. Messi got growth hormone as a kid. The secret behind
Yeah.
Messi.
But even it's even crazier when it's like genetic and when it's not just like a drug anymore, because that stuff's like permanent,
His achievements were already being facilitated by his daily growth hormone injections, which he started at age 11 and did himself. By the time Messi was 12 or so, the injections were beginning to have a more unfortunate effect. They were hurting the family savings. Hey, I don't think that matters anymore. Wow. I mean, you're right. I mean, I feel like the thing is, there's certain things we care about because of the advantage it'll give us. Because there's something about us having it and someone else. Messi had to be injected with growth. Yeah, okay. Each night when he was only 12. Wow. Where did you learn about that, man? Anyways, yeah, I just think that there's something we like. Height is a great example,
Yeah.
Height,
Where do you
physical
draw the
stature.
line?
I just think that when it's accessible to everyone, then your incentive to have it is gone. Right? I
No,
feel like-
then you're forced to get it.
well,
If
yeah, then you're
everybody
forced to
around
get
you,
it.
yeah.
That's true. Because if everyone else is on it, you have to be on it. Yeah,
The reason I brought that up is like my question was like, where do you draw the line? Like, what counts as enhancement versus like therapy? Like sickle cell anemia, like if you treat them with that, that's fine. That's therapy. But what about somebody with like idiopathic short stature, or are they just short and they shouldn't get that? Where do you draw the line between enhancement and therapy?
I don't think we as humans are capable of drawing the line. I'll give you examples because almost everything that we look at today as almost normal I think what's the name? Plastic surgery is a great example.
Mm-hmm.
Plastic surgery right now is a treatment that anyone can get if they wanted to. It didn't start off that way. It started off in World War I or II. You can fact check this too. One of the world wars, it was designed as a treatment for soldiers who got their face blown up.
Yeah.
Right? And they would create like these masks or something for these people. Who you probably heard about this, right? But now it's like you first create it as a medicine, but then it becomes an enhancement, and it becomes normal now. Like, I mean, I think plastic surgery is still looked down upon by a lot of people, but over time, like, people don't look down upon you for, I don't know, there's like simple things we do now that I can't really think of an example off the top of my head, but maybe you can think of one where there's something that might be considered an enhancement in the previous time that we just do as normal now.
Yeah.
There's probably so many examples, and like, pills we take and stuff like that, medicine.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, that we just take, like, I don't know if like you want to lock in for studying, so you'll take like, what's the one ashwagandha to reduce anxiety or something, those would maybe be enhancements in the past, but now it's just like normal.
Yeah.
Like protein powder, I don't know.
Yeah. So what's the solution? Is legalize everything? I mean, I think that's what's gonna happen.
Well, I don't know if it's the end of the world just yet.
It's not. I'm not saying it's the end of the world if people like get this stuff. I'm just saying like what's gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, you gotta keep up to date because people around you are gonna suddenly be like, super enhanced and you won't know what's going on.
Yeah, and because you'll fall behind quick. I mean, already I feel like if you don't, I don't feel like you have to follow the news and the world events to be up to date, because you can still live. I think in our generation, you can still live a normal life without following it.
Yeah.
And I think people sometimes say that if you don't follow it, you won't be successful. You'll fall behind. But that's kind of an illusion, I think, in my opinion. But I feel like for a while, after a while, it won't be an illusion anymore. Where if you don't stay up to date, you'll fall behind and you'll get fucked. You know.
Yeah.
Like when I delete all the apps back in like high school, you know, I'm on them now. But when I delete all the apps, stop watching the news and everything, I just think that there's all this pressure from people saying that, oh, you'll fall behind, you won't be in the loop. But like I feel like I still was, and then I feel like I was still living a normal life. But I don't know if that will be true 20, 30 years from now, where it's like if you didn't hear about the new thing.
Fall behind on what though? What
you know, like if everyone's on this new enhancement thing and you're not, you're fucked. You know.
Yeah, I mean, but that stuff is gonna be a bit slower. Just know that it's happening. The Neuralink thing too. Just imagine like, what if it becomes super big and like the average person is allowed to get a Neuralink? You're going to be so behind if you don't have one of those things in your brain. Yeah.
I feel like these things, it sounds scary because it's different. And we don't like change as humans, you know?
No, it sounds scary because I think like a select group of people are going to be the ones who control it all. Like some politician or some, like I don't want Elon Musk in charge of my Neuralink in my brain. Like what if he decides to just turn me off one day? You feel me? He could. I don't want that shit.
If the Neuralink has that capability, which one day it might, you know?
Yeah. Or like what if it like... Dude, it could be like some dystopian shit, dude. Once you get a Neuralink in or something, like, it'll like play an ad every like hour. Like you're gonna have a fucking ad in your vision.
Like your whole life becomes an ad.
Yeah.
Where like it teleports you into like this like ShopRite commercial, and you're
like
people throwing like cereal boxes around, and you're like you just teleport out of it.
And like if you're not in on it, like who knows what's in the Neuralink? Because like if you ask me, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how the Neuralink works. Like I listen to the podcast, I still don't really know how it works.
We spent 9 hours of our time watching this shit.
I still don't know how it works. But like what if it just fucking mind controls you? And like the person with it in, they're gonna, Elon Musk is gonna make him act all normal and stuff, but he's actually being mind controlled. And we can't tell until we get it implanted and it's too late. You feel me? So
no hate on Elon Musk, by the way, just hypotheticals here. I mean, someone with that control has the ability to do that. I mean, obviously Neuralink can't do that in particular, but a similar-esque kind of chip could potentially do that in the future.
Dude, bro, Elon Musk has been he's actually been tweaking out lately, bro.
You think so?
Yeah. Dude, it's like obviously anybody in the same position would be doing what he's doing right now, which is like trying to get more power for himself and like stuff like that. But like for normal people like us, it's really worrying.
Like what in particular was worrying?
Like getting involved with like political stuff, with government stuff. I mean, obviously, like all these like executives are doing the same thing. Like they're putting their money into all these politicians' pockets and stuff like that. But Elon Musk is free.
Elon's doing it for free.
What do you mean he's doing it for free?
He's not getting any money from the government.
Oh, he's not getting money from the government.
Zero.
But like he gets power. He doesn't get money directly, but like just think about like I don't know his stock. Like I'm not big on stocks or anything, but I bet his stocks are like sky high right now and shit.
Like Tesla and all that, and Neuralink. And...
Yeah, I heard there's like a stock crash or something, but I don't know what's going on either.
Finance.
But like he's getting something out of it. Don't pretend like there's nothing. He's not getting anything though. Yeah.
But the fact that he's not getting paid is huge. Like he gets power. Yeah, I mean any government official.
He's got enough money too.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck about money.
Yeah.
Right. But to a degree, like I feel like he's obviously it's hard to interpret these people as like people sitting at home watching the news. You know, like we see a very select, like scope into this world of like this individual, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, how the stocks doing, man? Hey, what's this?
There's been like a massive drop recently.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I can't really interpret.
They were all-time highs when Trump won, but after that, recently it's
how recent? Like this week?
Drop.
This week or the first month?
Yeah, this week.
Okay, what's happening this week?
Honestly, I think it's just the market correcting itself.
Okay.
We need like an analyst come here and explain it to us.
Yeah. Teo's quite an analyst. He does this a lot. Anyways, yeah. I mean, look, there's an incentive for power for anyone in that position. But to me, like, just hearing him talk, I feel like the problems that the government has gone through in the last 4, 8, 20, whatever years, the growth in the bureaucracy has been huge, and the amount of inefficiency in there is huge. And I feel like, to me,
talking about his Department of
Doge.
Yeah, Doge.
Government efficiency.
Yeah,
You know, like
government efficiency.
to me, just hearing him talk, I mean, as an outsider looking in, it genuinely seems like he cares. It looks like he's a competent guy who sees how incompetent the government is. He's a smart guy,
Yeah.
and he's just sick of it, and he wants to fix it. You know, like obviously that's very idealistic. You know, it could we could conspiracy theory and be like, oh, he's just looking for power, which obviously everyone's looking for power secretly in the background. But I think the decisions he made so far has been net positive. You know, like I think there's people that can look at it like he's tweaking out, like oh he's cutting it. Like I think the media narrative is like, oh my god, he's cutting all this money off from this organization. Oh, that one too. Oh, you can't cut it off from U.S. aid and all this stuff. But I mean, if you look into the details, you know, you hear him talk like, okay, why did he cut all this money off from U.S. aid? If you actually look at like what is U.S. aid, nobody really knows what U.S. aid is. U.S. aid is the United States Agency of International Development. Right? Which that's a very vague term. Like, what does that even mean? You know, like aid sounds like, oh, they're defeating the homeless and stuff, right? But he's very much looking at, okay, like let's look at U.S. aid. In like 2023 or something, $250 million were given through U.S. aid for transgender studies. Like, what's going on here? $250 million for transgender studies through U.S. aid.
In the U.S.? Like,
Yeah.
How does that work?
Where there was the way these bureaucracies work is that they have a lot of money that they can allocate to different areas, right? There was $250 million from U.S. aid that went right to transgender studies, mutilating animals so we can study how dicks and penises work, all right? So
What are they funding though?
It's I don't know the specifics, but if you look at the details of these like 500 fucking government bureaucracies, there's a lot of them that we don't need. And it's money we're just throwing around wasting. So I don't think he's tweaking out. I think he's making like, good decisions.
Look, like I like a lot of his ideals. Like if we just look at one thing, like he likes free speech, right? I think that's great. I think people should have free speech and he should be providing platforms for free speech. But the issue I have is that he's one person. Yeah, that's the issue. And for example, like his new AI is supposed to be like this free speech ChatGPT.
What's it called?
Grok, I think, or something.
Yeah, I haven't heard about this.
But then like he starts like putting stuff in the algorithm or whatever to like hide bad stuff about him and Trump.
Did he do that?
Know what I'm saying? I think so.
He searched it up? I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
And the same thing on Twitter or whatever. Like now he's just the one in charge. You know what I'm saying? Like it's free speech if he likes it.
I agree.
It can't be one person running.
I agree.
I support free speech, just like him, but he can't be the guy moderating free speech. You feel me? There shouldn't be a moderator at all.
I agree.
That's the big problem.
I 100% agree, and I think that's inevitable. Like I think that if we had an organization around it, like I've heard about individual actors. I can't remember the names that have been trying to create like a free speech platform. Yeah. Elon Musk AI Grok 3 ranked him, Donald Trump, JD Vance among.
Oh, that's the opposite of what I'm saying.
I know. Maybe that's intentional though, to be like, oh yeah, we're not fucking with this.
Yeah.
Never know. But I think the key thing is like there were some people, what was it called, Hive Mind or something, that were trying to create this free speech platform, and I think there was an idea of decentralizing it so that there's not one person's power, which is I'm more in for that. But I agree, like people can love Elon Musk, and there can be people who support Elon Musk, but at the end of the day, all you know is your media perception of him. You know, you don't know what he's actually doing. You know, so on the media he can seem like this guy who cares about free speech, but in the background he could still have the power to create these algorithms that are biased. You know, but that's gonna happen whenever. You know, the old Twitter was biased, YouTube is biased. You know, I don't know if I told you, but I had YouTube clips taken down from YouTube.
Oh really?
I made a YouTube short about vaccines. It got taken off of YouTube.
Oh really?
Right. It was a very factual piece of information. So my friend Charlie.
What are you talking about?
So my friend Charlie's mom works in the drug industry, and he was talking about his mom's experience and what she's seen in the drug industry. So just purely factual information. She said that when the COVID-19 vaccine came out, there were a lot of random administrating of this vaccine, and there was clear evidence that it was ineffective, yet still pushed to be administered despite it being ineffective. That's all we said. Then we moved on, and my team made a YouTube short about it. It got taken off of YouTube as medical misinformation. You know?
Oh shit!
So whether it's Twitter
how did they find that? Like somebody must have reported it.
They have algorithms.
They have algorithms.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. We've made 3 clips about vaccines, and they never do well. You know, typically my videos get 400 views, and
let's stop talking about it then.
Yeah, honestly, but I think it's important. You know, like typically my videos average 400 to 500 views for shorts, and then once a week we'll get like 1,000, 2,000, or maybe 10,000 views on a singular short. Those 2 videos, we made 2 videos about vaccines. They both got 20 views.
Oh.
20.
Shorts, you mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then 1 video was taken off.
Wow.
It was insane. Then I made a short later on about me complaining about how YouTube took my short down.
Yeah.
Guess how many views that one got? Like 8 views.
Yeah.
in the next video about like multivariable
Like shadow
talk.
ban whenever you talk about that.
They can control their algorithm, you know. There's not a
That's
lot
crazy.
of shady stuff.
That's
you know?
crazy because like you're still just a small creator right now, right? Like it's crazy that they have the resources or
They
something
can
to
do that
find
shit.
that.
Oh, it's easy for them.
Yeah.
And they do it to big creators too. Like, did you hear about the
Yeah.
Trump and what's it called, Trump Joe Rogan episode? You couldn't find it
Really?
when it came out. So what happened was that within 3 days, or within the first day, I got 10 million views.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 days in, it had like 50 million.
Wait, I thought it was like a thing now where everybody was like, all those big companies are like bending over for Trump now. It's like
I
the
don't
other
know.
way.
I mean, now that he's in power, I mean,
Yeah, it's
everyone's
like
gonna
one-
be like, I love, like Mark Zuckerberg's like, oh yeah, Trump's my
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, it was Mark Zuckerberg. He like completely switched up or something.
Yeah, we could talk about that too. That was interesting.
Yeah.
But I think the thing with like, just go back to YouTube, like control. I mean, I agree, like Elon could do it too. But the point is, anyone can do it. You know, Twitter could do it. Elon could do it.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube could do it. When the Trump Joe Rogan podcast came out, it got like 10 million views in 3 days. It was never on YouTube trending page.
Really?
And there was a point where you couldn't find it if you tried searching for it.
That's crazy.
Like, it was blocked on like some Google platform. You couldn't find it.
Really?
And then later on, like, they complained and stuff, and they got it fixed. But right around the time when it was most important, you know, the months leading up to the election,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's YouTube's fault, but there could be some left-wing executives around there
Mm-hmm.
who have the control to do that kind of stuff.
Oh, was it a podcast before the election?
Yeah, it was before the election. It's a very
that
pivotal
makes
time.
sense.
Very
Makes
pivotal
sense.
time. You know,
Yeah.
and then we've seen the government do it before when the 2020 election. It was insane.
Mm-hmm.
So Elon could do it, but anyone could do it. And I think that we need a better solution. You know, like, I agree with you. I don't like Elon being the guy who runs it because
I could tell. I think you like Elon, and like
Yeah.
I like some of his ideas too. The problem I have is just that, like, nobody, not even if I like somebody completely and I don't see any flaws in that person, it shouldn't be one person who is in charge of like some of the biggest tech companies and also has such a big voice in our government. It's almost like we're gonna have like a dictator or like a group of dictators coming in. That's
I
the
agree.
main problem. Yeah.
100% agree. I wonder, like, what else can we do though? Like, should we make, like, is there like a decentralized model that's possible? Like, I don't know how much you know about this kind of stuff. But
Just I don't know. I have no clue, man. It's just I see it and it's kind of concerning. I don't know if there's anything to do about it, but
yeah, because I agree with you. Because the point is that Elon could, just because I like him as a person, just because you like some of his ideas, doesn't mean that gives him the right to just be the guy who can control it. You know, he claims that it's all free speech, but is it though? We don't know.
Yeah, I think like if you support like some kind of ideology, right, and you see somebody who also supports your ideology like taking power, like I think it's natural to, you know, like this person and want that to happen, but you have to be careful because you might not actually agree with everything that they, you know, you might not agree with their perspective completely, and there's gonna be some things that that might harm you in the long run, you know, if you let people like just the more authoritarian our government is, or just like the people in charge are, the worse it will be for all of us, even if we right now agree with some of their views. That's what I mean.
I agree. I think it's easy to get wrapped up in this umbrella, you know. I think it happens on both sides of the political spectrum, or even not even on politics spectrum, but just like groups of people you agree with, you know. The second you like this quality in that person, and you know, a lot of these leaders are very charismatic. You know, they're extremely charismatic, and they're attractive to people, and people kind of fall under their spell, I guess you can say, right? And I think the key thing is that if you agree with like everything someone does, there's probably something wrong. Like if you think about the person you look up to the most, and maybe I fall into that too sometimes, and I have to kind of be cautious of it. But I don't know, if there's like someone you look up to and you agree with every single thing they says, it's probably because you kind of fall into their charisma spell, and not just because you're a critical thinker. And you know, even if I get caught up in that sometimes, I think it is important to be a critical thinker.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, like look at each issue like individually. Like, you know, if the key problem is that free speech is what's important, then we need to come up with a way where there's no way for anyone to misuse that and mistreat that. And if that means, you know, I think Elon as an individual person should not run it, but also I think that any individual kind of group should not run it either, because I mean, we've seen groups do it.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen it happen through groups, clear evidence in the past.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the question is, like, how else do we do it in this case? Like, okay, who's supposed to run X? You know, is it decentralized in a way where no one runs X? Or maybe we can make it so that everything is open source. You know, I think that's what. Taylor, can you see if it's called Hive Mind? I think it was the thing that someone named Daryl was trying to create. DARYL, Hive Mind. I don't remember. Hive, something like that. But I think their model is that everything's open source. So their algorithms, their filters.
Here, I have an idea for you. Like,
Search up Daryl, DARYL. I don't know if it's Hive Mind. It probably wasn't Hive Mind. Not Dixon. I just do Daryl. Fuck. Search up Daryl. Social media platform censorship. Hey, what was your idea?
hold on, I want to see what this is.
No, delete Hive Mind. I think I made that up. Search up like censorship. Yeah, this guy. We go to that first video. Who made that video? No.
Well, you could just summarize it for me. We don't need to pull it
I
up.
don't remember half of this stuff. Yeah, Daryl's Davis. That was his name.
What about him?
Search up Daryl's Davis' like social media platform. He had like some social media platform that had the same goals as us. Where like no one runs it, so that it's purely just like a free speech place.
Okay. Yeah, that could be a good idea.
I don't know if it's successful though. Fuck, was it Daryl Davis? Yeah, it was Daryl Davis. Can you search like what was the name of it? Like I don't know. It's so hard to find.
The problem with completely free speech platforms though is like, you're gonna get most of like the extremists on there, on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Because they don't have anywhere else to go. No other platform will take them, so they end up converging in those types of places.
Is that a bad thing though? If everyone, I mean, if you can get, oh yeah, it's called Minds. Yeah,
Minds.
yeah.
Cool.
Check this out.
So what is this, like ChatGPT?
No, it's not AI. It's a social media platform.
Social media.
Quickly launch your. What is this, dude? It looks different to me. I think it was on Joe Rogan like years ago.
Interesting.
Like back in like 2021. Anyways, yeah. Tell me
Yeah.
your idea.
There's one like at this point with AI being used by like everybody basically, and same with social media. There's an argument to be made that it's like almost like a utility. You know what I'm saying?
A public utility.
Yeah. In the same way that like there's some private companies, I guess, that own our utilities, like water, electricity, whatever, and stuff like that. But the government like regulates it really, really heavily to like set the price and whatever other rules and stuff like that. And if we're assuming like, you know, that we have a voice in the government and that we can decide like collectively to vote for certain things in the government, then we essentially kind of have like, we have a say and we have control over these utility companies basically. I think something similar could be done for social media and AI.
I think that's
Yeah.
that could work. I just think that I think government regulation will always be interesting. So when you say that it's regulated heavily by the government, like what parts of it will be regulated? As in like, okay, we can't we want it to be open source, free speech, you know. So there's like one thing that government regulation is not going to allow you to like censor, for example. Like is that? Like,
Yeah, like for example, right now, like private companies, they can censor whatever they want. It's illegal for them to censor things.
Like YouTube could do it, no problem.
But what if your life depends on like social media? In the future, a lot of our work might be online.
It already is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's just take like content creators for example. Like you're not allowed to talk about vaccines or anything like that if it goes against what the mainstream is saying, and that's because like YouTube or Google, they have the right, since they're a private company, to censor you. But what if that was your livelihood? What if this podcast was your job and your life kind of depended on its success, and you need to talk about these kind of topics to, you know, get the views or whatever, like something like that, right? Well, that really sucks, right? And it might be like that for like a lot more people in the future. So it's almost like utility. It's like, what if we just let water and electricity be like a monopoly, and then most people couldn't afford it?
That's fine.
You know, that's fucked up. So that's why the government needs to step in. in a way, like these like social media companies, in a way, they're kind of like a monopoly, because it's really hard for a new social media platform to just like rise right now. There's only so many. There's like under 5 big ones right now. And yeah, so like, government steps in to break monopolies up all the time. They might have to do something like that and like regulate it a bit more.
Yeah. I just think that the government has shown in the past that it will abuse it.
How so?
Like, I think with Biden is a great example. When they called, there's evidence now online that they pressured Facebook into censoring content, right? And that's already difficult, because now we're saying that a governmental actor pressured a private sector company to censor content. But now it's like the utilities integrated into the government. It's different than water and food. Like, ideas are more dangerous than weapons.
I think like corruption is always going to be an issue. It's an issue right now for things that are already regulated by the government. It's just, I feel like it's a separate issue, and it should be dealt with separately. One issue at a time. Like right now is the issue of, do private AI or private social media companies have too much power over our lives, and then we don't have any say in it. I think that's like one problem.
Like with filters, right?
Yeah. And then separately, the problem of corruption.
But I don't think it's just corruption, because I think corruption can exist in many forms, right? Corruption to...
Well, actually, like even right now, like the fact that Facebook right now is a private company, and it isn't being regulated by the government yet, but there already is corruption up there and pressuring them, kind of shows that it's like two separate issues.
So that's an issue that we should solve.
Yeah,
so
it's like two separate ones.
But I think the issue will get bigger the second we make it in the government, because it's difficult for the government to pressure private sector. But when it's like your own utility, it's easier. But I think that there's different kinds of corruption. Like there's corruption to gain monetary gain. There's corruption to, I don't know, gain power over another country. There's like different types of corruption that exist in many different parts of the government. But I think that the incentive behind corruption through social media will be the biggest incentive for a government. It will be one of the worst kinds of corruption, because I think that ideas are more dangerous than weapons. And if you could socialize a population to believe in a certain ideology, it will change huge things in the population.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just think that will be a huge incentive, which, it's difficult, because like, I don't know if it'll ultimately solve the problem, because first, the problem is that, okay, Elon's in charge of it. I don't like that. There's other groups in charge of it. I don't like that. The government's in charge of it. I don't know if I like that either. It's hard to have anyone in charge of that, because I think everyone will abuse it. And if it's a separate issue, like how do we solve the issue of corruption through controlling?
I mean, it's a tough topic. I don't expect to figure it out in the podcast.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a tough one,
to
man.
think about,
I definitely think it's important, though, because in any authoritarian regime, the first thing that always goes away is free speech. Every single time. The second people can't speak, they can't mobilize, and they lose power. Because I think ideas are huge. That's why people like, I don't know, what are the names? Robespierre and Marx and Lenin were able to grow ideas and socializing people into believing your ideas, and people looking at them like they're gods. Every authoritarian regime, the first thing that goes is free speech. And this is not just corruption. I think it's dangerous, and it's a hard one, because I don't have answers either. None of us have answers, and it's like, fuck, man, we could talk for hours about it, but what do we do about it? I don't know, man. I hope that we can come up with new ideas and continue to move better direction, because I think this is what I care about a lot. I think free speech is what I care about a lot. I think the
is that why you have
to
your podcast?
Sorry?
Speak your mind. Yeah.
Like, I love to, I don't put filter on this, I just talk. And I like to talk with people who disagree with me too, because I learn so much from them. And they also, sometimes I'll even argue back with them, but then I'll change my mind later when I think about it.
Yeah.
And I think if we can't speak about things, like, we can't reach conclusions.
Yeah.
And it's a messy one. All right, man. Well, it's 8:00. I know.
Yep.
It's gonna be a shorter one. What else you got going on today? Go back studying.
Yep. Go back, study, prepare.
What midterms you got?
Just not anytime soon. We got Chem and Calc coming up. Quiz tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, what, Calc?
For Chem, yeah.
Quiz. What are you guys doing in Chem? This is Gen Chem, right?
Yeah.
Take that next year.
It's just, dude, it's the professor, man. It's crazy.
Tell me about it.
Dude, I think he's like usually a graduate professor. I think it might be his first time teaching general chem to like a little freshman. So
is he like really, too complex? Like
it's way too complex. Like he makes his own questions up because it's honors. He doesn't go by like the multiple choice, like the standard questions. He makes his own shit up. And,
oh really?
Yeah, it's really dicking me down right now.
Did you take AP Chem and Petty?
Yeah, I got a 5.
And you still find it hard?
Yeah, this shit's fucking hard right now.
Are you serious, bro?
Yes, it's ridiculous.
Don't get me scared, man. I took Chem freshman year of high school.
No, it's just my professor, bro. My roommates in the regular Gen Chem is all multiple choice. It's like super friendly.
I gotta take that next year because I'm like switching to engineering school. So, you know, that's some general requirements I got.
Yeah.
But did you ever make progress toward that idea you had?
Personal training thing?
Yeah, or no, the app. Yeah.
I mean, I can't really do anything until I get the certification and like find out what the industry is kind of like. And I've been putting it off. I think I'm trying to get it really soon. If not next weekend, taking the test next weekend because I finished studying for it. But to get the certification, I need to take a test, right? So either take it next weekend or over spring break. I'm trying to take it next weekend so that I could have it in time so I could put it on my application for the transfer.
That would be helpful.
Yeah, it would help. But it's just really busy because I got to write the essays too and everything else. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Amazing. Are you open to talking about your idea on the podcast? Or you're gonna keep it private for now because it's not in the works yet. I'm
not keeping it private because it's a secret. It's just like I don't want to talk about it yet because it's just not fleshed out yet. I'm gonna end up sounding kind of stupid. I gotta think about it a bit more. Yeah.
Confirm that you're gonna do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I started thinking about like projects I want to work on too. Like I mean, like when you work on your thing, like your main role would just be like the business side of it, right? Like you're not gonna code or anything.
No, okay. I would have to. I don't know anything about coding, man.
Okay, because I was actually thinking about starting my own kind of project. Mm-hmm. And again, I don't want to reveal too much about it either, but it's not nothing like I don't have any cohesive idea yet, but I have a list of ideas.
Yeah.
I just know that I want to work on something, but I want it to be some integration of CS, kind of a CS major, with something, one of my interests. So my first idea was something with a podcast, you know? So either make something very simple, like an app for the podcast, like a Baruah podcast app, a Baruah podcast website that I can code and get a team of people together to work on that. Yeah. Or even something even a little more difficult, like an AI podcast editor, an AI, like somehow integrate that as like a plugin with Premiere Pro, or like an AI podcast YouTube Shorts creator. And I don't know, I just had like all these random ideas of things I want to work on, so I started writing them down, and I made a list of a bunch of people that I'd think about asking to see who would be interested, like maybe as a summer project or even in the background of things. But I've also had ideas for like gym related things as well, and I know you need help with like the CS side of it. So if you want to partner on something similar, I don't know if it's the same idea or something else.
No, definitely.
Something
I'll talk to you about it for sure.
Because since I'm in CS, like I've met a lot more CS people, and I think that'd be helpful to you because you're gonna need
a whole team going or something.
So we'll think about it for sure.
Yeah.
And I know you care a lot about the gym, so if you do end up doing something with the gym, I'll let you know. But I'll keep it posted. Good. Yeah, and get some cool shit going, guys.
Yeah.
You gotta head out soon, or you gotta keep talking for longer?
I was gonna meet up with my friend at 8, but it's already 8, so I might just. Let me see if he texted me.
Yeah, I mean, if you gotta go, check how much charge my other computer.
Well, what time would I get back to Rutgers?
Right now, if we left.
Yeah.
8:30.
8:30.
Sorry, man. We just kept talking.
Yeah.
Time kind of flies.
Honestly, we could just keep going on the podcast.
All right, man. Yeah.
Or let me think. 8:30.
Let me see that phone case, bro. Was that flowers on it?
Yeah, it's a cat too.
Oh, that's sick. Did Kate buy that for you?
Yeah.
Looks like something she buy.
Let me think. I think we might have to just end it here.
Okay, no worries. I mean, we've done like 6 of these, so
yeah.
Plenty of content available. People want more.
We should do another one when you.
This summer, man.
Yeah.
The summer's gonna be tough because I mean that mission's so easy to find people. So I have like just 2 a week every week, but over the summer it'll be more of a struggle as meeting people. So we'll definitely do at least a podcast or 2 this summer.
Yeah.
Hopefully our ideas will be in the works, so have something to talk about.
You gonna be in New Jersey this summer?
I've not planned it out yet, but I'll definitely be here for at least a period of time. So are you gonna be here the whole summer? Are you working like personal training and stuff, or?
I didn't tell you this, but I got an internship.
Oh yeah.
So, it's basically like helping like, okay, first of all, it's like this fresh produce market around Rutgers. It's to help like poor families, poor kids get good, nutritious, healthy food.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the like there's not that many fresh produce markets in New Brunswick at all.
Really?
Yeah. So like.
Well, I guess everything at like ShopRite and stuff is all like it's not fresh, just.
Or it's like a farmer's market. I think it's one of the only like farmers markets that is going to be run here. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm working on is like getting funds, so like grant writing and stuff like that to.
Is it nonprofit or?
Yeah, it's like nonprofit. I mean, I guess the farmers kind of make a profit, but like this
It's
program.
it's a nonprofit.
Yeah, it's kind of like a nonprofit.
NGO, yeah.
At least the portion I'm working on is kind of nonprofit, which is like we're gonna be teaching like the little kids that are gonna be there about nutrition and stuff like that.
Nice, dude.
So I'm working on grant writing to get funds for it, and then activity planning, lesson planning, stuff like that.
Dude, that's sick. And it's
Yeah.
it's kind of aligned with your interests. I mean, it's
Mhm.
nutrition major, but
Yeah, just trying to explore that. It's not like, it's more like non-profity, like that kind of side of things, rather than like gym nutrition
a
kind
little
of
bit different. But it's
A little
along the
bit
same
different.
lines. You gotta make an
Yeah, you
impact.
gotta explore
through it.
everything about your field.
That's
so.
really important stuff too. Like honestly, of
Yeah.
all like the volunteer work I could do, like I'd probably be
Uh-huh.
more interested in something like that because I feel like, especially with the people you're probably gonna be helping and assisting,
Mhm.
I think access to healthy food and cheap food,
Mm-hmm.
doing those together is hard. And a lot
Yeah.
of these like food deserts end up relying on like UPF and
Yeah,
shit.
it's bad.
You know,
It's really bad.
and I think people don't even know the problems and the downsides. So educating them would be huge,
Mhm.
man. I know.
Yeah.
Got to talk about it this summer a lot.
Yeah, so I'll be here. Like right now, I'm just working on like the planning and getting the funds, but the market isn't even running right now. Like the market's gonna be running.
Too cold outside.
Yeah, like late summer or just like summerish. So I'll be here.
Perfect, man.
I'll
I'll
be
be back
here.
early May, and I don't know. I might be traveling just for work too. I'm not sure yet. Nothing's
Uh-huh.
confirmed. But I'll definitely be here for at least like a month or so. But yeah, man, should be fun.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Thanks for coming down.
Yeah.
Glad we could finally get episode 90 in. Your podcasts are always at like major marks. Like first was episode 20, maybe like episode 50, episode 90. Let me get you signed in the post before I forget.
All right, bet. Is it a signature or just whatever I want?
Whatever the fuck you want.
All right. Got it.
Yeah, episode good. Nice. Episode 90. Pick a spot.
So 90.
Yeah.
We'll go right in the center bottom.
I think Ty took that spot. Center bottom. Perfect.
So 90, man.
Number 90. Well, thank you again. And looking forward to our next conversation, Mike.
Thank you, man.